Hey guys, so today I'm going to talk about anime I just watched. It's in French, I'll put the name up, but it's the Portrait of the Little Cossette. I don't know, I'm not French. But this anime, the plot kind of, without giving too much away, focuses on this guy who falls in love with something he's not supposed to. And the ramifications of that. Now, there's a lot of different elements in the plot. Chief among them, it has this kind of dark, emo slash gothic. Gothic in the true sense is what I should say. It's like an old gothic novel. The plot line is in many ways is a classic one. You can see storylines following this way back. I don't want to give too much away once again. But what stands out in this anime, by far, the thing that makes this stand out is not this storyline that is classic and, is a good storyline. I should say that first. The storyline is excellent. But what is spectacular is the scenery and shots in this anime. Fucking breathtaking. I mean, I paused this just to look at them. The story focuses around, I don't think I'm giving anything away if you read the title, a portrait. Now, that doesn't sound significant, but they live up to that expectation. You hear portrait, you think beautiful pictures, right? You think Mussolini. No, you know what I mean. You think giant, spectacular Renaissance kind of art. They live up to this in this anime, in my opinion. They do it. It's amazing. It's not just the pictures themselves, but what the pictures are of. It is the scene shots that they choose. It's almost like watching something out of a Hitchcock movie almost. Like if Hitchcock was young and he decided to animate a movie, it would have been a lot different. But some of the shots would have been similar in my opinion. They're creative, they're different, they're new. And then that's something that was very refreshing to see in the series. What else to mention? There are a couple problems in this series, for me personally, that occur. Number one, even though this does have a darker theme to it, I think that they overemphasize the amount of blood. I think to such an extent that it basically takes away from the aspect of the blood. A way of thinking of it is, let's say you're on a boat and the ocean turns to blood. Okay, there's going to be the initial shock. Oh crap, the water's blood, I can't get over it. But then, it's an ocean of blood. What the fuck are you going to do? It's not that big of a deal. So, I mean, they kind of overemphasize it. It's kind of like the ocean of blood effect, if I'm going to name it something, to coin a phrase. They have that problem. But having said that, it's not a particularly gory anime. There's a couple gory scenes, I guess. But if you're afraid of gore, fuck, this isn't that bad. Really. We're not talking series close to When They Cry, if you've seen that. We're talking, something like kind of like bloody scenes like Monster, if you've seen that. They're a little bit more bloody than Monster. They're not very much so. Some of the bloodier scenes of Monster, I should say. The plot line is just creepy. One other thing I'll mention about it is because the imagery is so beautiful and the plot is so dark, the fact that that happens, I think really emphasizes the storyline. Because that's kind of what the storyline's about, is that, you're in this beautiful world, but then there's all this horrible shit that happens. And they kind of emphasize it. I think also what's interesting is they have this, I don't want to call it a harem, because it's not really a harem element in it, but it's kind of a love, let me put it this way. The secondary female lead, if there was one female lead, I think it would be Cossette. But if this would be number 2 if you've seen this anime. You know who I'm talking about, probably. The other love interest, if you will. I think that they actually didn't do a bad job of her character. I will say that I think her dialogue was a little weak. and her actions didn't attest to human actions, but for the functions of the plot, I think that she did her job. I thought the ending was interesting and confusing. It really felt like they could have added on another episode. There's only 3 episodes in this, they could have made it 4, and it would have made the series a lot more rounded. But by far my largest complaint, if the blood one was 1, this is the big one. This is number 2. The age of the girl. Now, part of this is cultural, and I understand that. You know, I'm in America. We have different cultural standards for stuff, you know, but I kind of observed that, you know what I'm saying? I think the female character, for what they were trying to make her out to be, wasn't necessarily that sexual, but they definitely were hitting that, you know? And I understand if you're looking at the plot, it definitely emphasizes the point and it adds a different creepiness level to it. But it's definitely I almost didn't watch the series after like 5 minutes in. Well, basically an episode in, because I thought that she was too young for this, you know, scene. But, you know, I think that it can be explained away in the plot and stuff. I understand. If you watch the plot, it's like 15,000 years ago or whatever the fuck, so it makes sense. I don't want to give too much away, but I understand how they get there. It's just, I wouldn't have gone there if I was writing it, and frankly, I think that it added an unnecessary amount of creepiness to it. Like, just a few years older. But once again, I think that definitely adds to the plot. Because, here, I'm going to throw in a couple spoilers. So, if I was going to rank this, I give it a 4 out of 5. Oh, no, I give it a 3.7 out of 5. Yeah, 3.7, that sounds about right. The spoiler alert, if you're worried about that. I think that the aspect that what's his name? Oh, I can't remember his name. But the lady who murders Cosette. His obsession with keeping her young, to a certain extent, gets embodied in her youth. And I understand that's not cool in Western culture, for the most part. You don't write stories like that anymore. You just don't. You know, you don't see it coming up that often in popular literature. Or it gets frowned upon, I should put. But I think that it definitely emphasized their point in the storyline. I think it wasn't necessary exactly to the storyline. They could have made it a couple years older, but it really kind of captured. It made this fiance incredibly creepy, and I think that definitely added to what they were trying to get across. A couple other spoilers. The ending was confusing. I understand he's supposed to be coming back, right? I mean, that's what she says, you know, the love interest, I guess I'll call her. But yeah, no, I think the other thing I'll mention before I drop this is I think that they did a really good job of making their world seem mundane in comparison to the world where he was going. The world where Cossette, I'm never going to pronounce that right, is taking her. That in itself was a good use of different anime styles. I mean, even if they would have just stuck with the crappy regular style, that wasn't a bad style. That was kind of just, that wasn't bad. That would have been slightly above normal, or, you know, about normal. But yeah, no, well, anime came out in 2006. A lot of good anime came out in 2006. That was a good year for anime. Because they got, Full Metal Panic, and The Melancholy Heart of Suzumiya. There's a couple other really good animes. I think Lucky Star came out in 2007. I don't know. It was a good like 2-3 years that they had. That's not to say that they're having any bad anime now. I mean, there are bad animes. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. This is definitely worth I think each segment's 30 minutes, so the hour and a half. If you're not creeped out by really young girl characters, which I am, that's a big turn off for me. I'm gonna be real with you. That's like a no-go for me. But I'm kind of glad that I tried watching this one through. Somebody recommended this to me. I can't remember the acronym of their name on YouTube, but maybe I'll put it down below. I'm not sure. But they recommended this, and I'm glad I watched it. Once again, if I didn't mention it, you can find this on Netflix. Real easy. You just type in what's up top. And yeah, it's definitely worth the hour and a half. That's basically it. If you have any suggestions that you want me to watch any anime, I'll get around to it. I will. Though it might take me a while. If it's on Netflix, fuck, I'll do it tomorrow. Yeah. So subscribe, comment, rate. I guess I should plug my other channel, but it's kind of like I don't have that much up there now. So, but if you want to check out my other channel, you can. It's Subterranean Fire. Yeah, I think I got a link to it on my channel. If not, just type in Subterranean Fire, and you can find it fairly easily. I hope so. It's all one word. Have a great day. Bye.